All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the A7E Podcast. This is your host, Jigadren. Guys, we are back with another episode today with an absolutely brand new guest. Super excited to hear a little bit about the guest here today. We were connected through a mutual friend. So I got some questions ready for him. Not an interview style conversation at all, but it's going to be a conversation. Awesome. Mando, man, tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself for the listeners.
What's up, guys? My name is Mando Villareal. I'm the owner of Deepwater CrossFit. I've been weightlifting. I started off with powerlifting, went into Strongman, did that for about 10 years. Eventually, I got out of Strongman, started doing some CrossFit, got into CrossFit, opened up my own CrossFit gym now.
Cool,
and
man.
Right now, we're still barely in our second year. We're already expanding to a new location, 3.0. It's about 5,000 square feet, and we're excited.
Cool, man. So you got some experience in the Strongman, right? So
Yeah.
I did mention that we were connected a little bit through Servando.
Yeah.
Who,
Yep.
correct me if I'm wrong, he's still doing Strongman.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So how was the Strongman experience for you when you were doing it?
Shit. So we started maybe like 10 years ago with a mutual friend of ours, also Gabriel Pena. We started working out just in his backyard, in his garage, and it was real old school style. We didn't have farmer handles, we didn't have frame carries. We had trampoline pipes in the big old tractor tire, and that would be our farmer's carry. We were just doing weird stuff like that, just trying to work out, get strong. We made some Atlas stones. Someone lent us the molds for them.
Right.
We handmade them, made the stones. We had some stones. We started working out with some stones, and that's how it started. Eventually, Gabe Pena took over AlphaFit, which is unfortunately no longer there.
Right.
They have closed. We took Gabe Pena took over that place, and that became our home now.
Right. Okay. So I remember, if I'm not mistaken, when Servando was on the podcast, he mentioned that Gabriel Pena has his pro card.
Yes.
Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, the only one in RGV right now for that?
I believe yes.
Okay.
He's the only one with the pro card. Yeah.
Okay, because I know Servando was like, that was one of his things when he was competing. He's like, I
Yes.
want to be the next one.
Yep.
Right. Now, I briefly saw Servando. Is he competing right now?
He just finished competing. I was looking through his Instagram.
Right.
I believe he's already headed back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to have him on soon, just
Yeah.
kind of see what, how
That'd be
that
awesome.
went for him. Man, tell me a little bit about you, outside of the business before we get into that. Who is Mando? Like, where are you from? Where have you been? How old are you, by the way?
Right now, I'm about to turn 30 in about a week.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're 29.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm about to turn 31 in April.
Awesome.
Yeah. So cool, man. Welcome. Welcome to the 30s. It's a new place. It's a good place. It's a good place, though. So tell us a little bit more about you and more of a background.
So I was born in Fort Worth. We came over here to the Valley as a family, to be closer to family in Monterrey. And eventually, Mexico all bad with the cartels and all that stuff. So we stopped visiting. So we just basically moved down to the Valley for no reason. So that's it. We started here. Went to high school here at Beta. If you guys don't know, it was a small little private high school for
Here?
business. Yeah.
Okay.
In Edinburgh.
Okay.
It's a little business. It was. So now it's public school.
Yeah.
I wrestled a little bit at 4 row while still going at Beta. And then basically the wrestling program introduced me to weightlifting.
Okay.
We had to work out. And I was weak.
Yeah.
I was weak. I started with just the barbell, and I was struggling with the
Yeah.
barbell. But man, that's changed now.
Yeah. It's been a while, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I know you said a little bit earlier that you did Strongman, but now you're into CrossFit.
Yep.
Obviously, that's kind of the business that you own,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, tell me why the transition, or I guess what took you from Strongman type of lifting to CrossFit type.
I did Strongman like for about 10 years.
Oh wow.
And I feel like I got everything I wanted out of it. I worked out like a madman. I was so focused, and I became Texas Strongest Man. I went to nationals I got dead last in nationals.
Oh, really?
And then the next year, I was invited to World's Strongest Man.
Okay.
I qualified through the online qualifiers. I went to World's Strongest Man. I ended up getting hurt. I was at number 6, and then I ended up getting hurt with my pinky. So I'm not sure you guys can see that, but my pinky is now like stuck.
What do you mean?
It's like dead.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So
You can't.
No, that's it. Yeah.
Yo, can you show that? Like, show it.
It's
Go like this with your hand and then close it like a fist.
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So now when I wash my face, there's always a finger in my face.
Yeah.
So I got hurt, but I'm like, man, I'm already in Miami. I'm already here. I'm gonna keep going. Yeah. And that's it. I ended up 16th in the world, even with my messed up hand. And I feel I was done. That was it. For me, I feel like I got what I wanted. I got pretty far into it. 16th in the world in 2019. And, that was it. The motivation was gone. I started doing CrossFit, got real into it. It just lit that spark up again. And awesome, let's go. This is a whole new sport I've never done. Absolutely. Gymnastic stuff like muscle ups, clean and jerks weren't a thing in Strongman. So I started doing that. I got real into it. Like, oh, let's do this. I already have a bunch of lifting experience. Yeah. I might not be the best at these movements, but I can definitely teach people how to work out correctly, eat better, and so on. Yeah. I opened up Deepwater 1.0. It was a small little 1,000 square foot facility. People loved it. I might have not been the best CrossFitter, but I knew how to teach people movements.
Absolutely.
From there, we went to 2.0, where we're at exactly, currently, I mean. And from there, more people came. I got better at CrossFit. At this point, now it's my job. I have to be good. Yeah. So I dedicated more time. That was just, I guess, work for me, perfecting these movements the best I can, and teaching these movements, learning them myself, and then teaching them. Yeah. And now we're growing, and we should open Deepwater CrossFit 3.0 in about maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so both of those locations are going to be and for those listeners, I'm sorry if my, because I know your audio sounds great, I can see it, but I'm having to be like in and out with mine, but I think I need to be a little bit closer to mine. But so for your locations, are you going to have both of them open at the same time?
No, we're closing.
Okay, so you're going to move.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're moving to a bigger location.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we started at 1,000 square foot in 1.0, and then we went to 2.0, which was a 3,600 square feet. We're closing 2.0, moving to 3.0, and that's about 5,000 square feet.
Wow.
Yeah. And the amenities are so different.
Yeah.
So in 2.0, we just have one restroom.
Yeah.
That's it. One restroom.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, guys. Mm-hmm. And then 3.0, we got showers, we got lockers.
Like a real
Gold's Gym type of deal. Yeah. It's completely revamped now. We have a front desk. We're going to have a little shake bar. Yeah. Like I said, we have lockers, we have showers. It's a full-on restroom now. Yeah. For both men and females. Each one have their own side. Yeah. We have offices, and the facility's just bigger. Yeah. And we're going the right direction. That's awesome. Yeah.
And out of curiosity, you guys are gonna have like a sauna by any chance?
No, we don't have a sauna.
Yeah, no problem. No. So I have a question for you. Do you know anything about, or what, do you have a certain take or stance on like cold plunges and things like that?
Ooh, I love cold plunges. Yeah. We actually have a tub at 2.0. Okay. We sometimes do it on Saturdays or Sundays. I'm actually a big fan of the cold plunge. I don't have the actual cold plunge thing, but we just have one of those tubs we bought from Tractor Supply. Yeah. And we just ice it up, put water in it, and there we go. It's a little cold bath.
Yeah, so that's what I mean by cold plunge. It's like literally like immersed in cold water.
Big fan.
Yeah, big fan. That's what I figured you'd say, and I was hoping you'd say that. I've recently been like into like the benefits of it, and I feel like it's also one of the things that are catching on, like quote unquote, as a trend. Yep. And I think that's a good trend to catch on for. Yeah. One of the ones that I've been looking into, because I've thought about getting like a personal one. I think it's called like Edge Lab or Edge Theory, something like that. Okay. It simply is just like it's one that's inflatable, super mobile, comes with its own like filtration process and heating and cooling.
That's awesome.
And the total price for those I think the total price are about like a little over $5,000.
Okay.
And I've always thought like, I think one of the things that I don't see much around the area, whether it be with like personal trainers or coaches, because I used to be a soccer coach, right?
Yeah.
And I used to train kids personally and then older kids as well. I feel like one of the aspects that, not that we neglect, but maybe we don't have time for, is like the recovery process.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of people who just want to do more. More.
And of course, I think there's like 2 like cold places. Man, now I just forgot their names though.
Like cryo.
Yeah, cryo fit or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there's another one as well, but I feel like neither of them have like a cold plunge system.
No, I don't think so.
Right?
No. I think it's just like that cryotherapy.
Yeah, the cryotherapy. And I've always been so interested, in the actual benefits of cold plunging and wondering if there was any space to actually like offer that to athletes or to people who even do like daily gym, but to kind of like educate a little bit more on the recovery process being just as important as the like process of hard work.
Yeah. And I'm a big fan of it. Recently, actually not recently, it's been like maybe 2 years now. Yeah. But we also, my friend Oscar and I started doing a half Ironmans. Okay. And I did 4 last year. And in 3 of those, I didn't do the cold bath, the ice baths. And I prefer, There's one, I was doing an ice bath every weekend leading up to that one. And it just so happened that was my best one.
Yeah, you killed it.
Yeah. That was my best time. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I don't know all the science behind it, but all I'm saying is I was recovering, right? And I did my best. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's something that's been super interesting to me. Maybe it's something that I pull the trigger on, like in regards to actually purchasing it, having it for myself first, right? Using it for its benefits, and then maybe just kind of seeing like if there's any opportunity to like offer it to like the public, even if it's just like 1 or 2, people. But cool, man. So, I want to go back to the injury that you got whenever you were doing Strongman. You mentioned that you placed 16th in the world, which is just the way it sounds. Sounds incredible, right? Like it sounds intense. That was in Miami?
That was in Miami, yes.
Okay. How long was that competition in Miami?
It was 2 days.
2 days.
And then if you made the finals, the top 10, you go for that 3rd day. Yeah.
Okay.
So like I said, I didn't make the top 10. I was 16th.
Yeah.
So I just left home. But there was that 3rd day, which was just the top 10. Yeah.
So tell me about the injury. What happened? Because I've never seen something like that before in my life, right? So that's
Boop.
Yeah. So what happened?
Just a bunch of ligaments and tendons tore.
Yeah.
They told me nothing was wrong. You're just in shock, and I'm like, no, something's wrong.
I can't move it.
I can feel it. No, you're just in shock. It's okay. And they stitched it up. Like, it did get cut. That's why. I'm like, no, something's wrong. Like, no, you're fine. So we did some X-rays. You see, nothing's wrong. All right, And then maybe about a month passed by, and then those bastards. I knew it. Something was wrong, and that was the end of that.
So how long has that been like that?
Like 4 years now.
Okay, so in your head right now, you kind of just adapted to that.
Oh yeah.
You're good
by now. Yeah. But at the time, everything hurt. Yeah. I couldn't grip this, or it would hurt. But now at this point, just kind of like numb and dead and holding me back. I just adapted with it, and that's it.
Yeah. Do you feel that's something that you would ever want to fix, or you're completely fine with how that is?
I've looked into it. It's about $20,000.
Oh. Okay.
I've thought about like, well, maybe I can, get back that finger. Like, but $20,000, I just don't have $20,000 laying around, And
especially if it's not like completely like obstructing your lifestyle.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still working on it. I'm still doing barbell stuff. Once in a while, I'll still do strongman stuff, grab the farmer handles, the log press, everything. Like, at this point, like 4 years into it, it just adapted by now. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Man, that's always interesting how, because I've seen people as well have specific injuries who just like never bothered to go get it fixed, and it's always interesting to see how the body just like I don't say rejuvenates itself, but like just gets to a place where you can go on about your life like naturally or regularly.
Just adapts to it.
Yeah, it just adapts to everything.
And it's crazy, like you're saying, like the body does just adapt. Mm-hmm. That's it. I adapted to like the heavy stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can never run a mile. Or the body just adapts to running a mile, and then the body adapts to this and that. It's crazy,
Yeah.
If
No.
you just put some time and effort into it, and your body will adapt to it.
Yeah, and I would pretty much say adapt to absolutely anything.
Yep.
And I feel like one of the things that I like to talk about on the podcast as well is like general health. Not having to be like a freak athlete or a top athlete or working out to compete, whatever, but having general health, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, it's super important. And I think one thing that I kind of didn't realize until you said it right now, what makes complete sense and it's completely logical, is that the body also adapts to a lifestyle where you do not do anything.
Yes.
Right? So it's like when you mentioned that it's always adapting, when you're constantly, let's say sit on the couch or you're just working for 8 hours in a sitting position and then you go to bed type of thing, like the body is also adapting to that.
Yep.
Right?
Your body changes.
Yeah. So the opposite of that is also true, right?
Yeah.
No matter how much stress you put it through, eventually it'll adapt, at some point.
Yep. Yeah, and no, you're 100% right. Your body just adapts to anything. Like when I was doing strongman, like I was saying, I can never run a mile.
Yeah.
I would see the mile, I can never do that, And now I'm here doing half Ironmans, doing half marathons. Like and my body has obviously changed. My heaviest in strongman was about 215, and I would go down and compete at 176.
Wow.
Yeah. So like that 215 was kind of like a real like bulking season, off season. The closer I would get to competing, I'd probably go down to about 200, and then I would just drop the water weight weigh in and go back up to about 190, 195 the next day and compete.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So is 215 the heaviest you've ever been?
Ever been.
Ever been?
Ever been. I
Wow,
was so heavy. I was so fat.
So how tall are you?
About 5'8".
Okay.
Yeah.
That's because. So when you were at 215, you just felt enormous, huh?
I felt so heavy.
Yeah.
I was having issues breathing. Like I felt it like.
Yeah.
It was just heavy breathing, and I mean, it's just part of it. Sometimes you gotta, I guess, bulk a little bit.
Yeah.
Have that excess for your muscles to have that excess protein, that excess carbs really grow. And then, like I said, the closer I got to the competition, I'll start eating cleaner.
Yeah.
Start doing a little more bike, a little longer bike. Do a little bit of EMOMs, something I stole from CrossFit to get that heart going, to burn that extra fat off. And like I said, I would weigh roughly around maybe 200. And from there, just sauna for about 3 hours. And I weighed 176.
Damn.
And that's it. Make weight, get right out, get an IV, start eating, start drinking, get that weight back. By next day, that's it. I'm back to 195, 200-ish.
Yeah. Yes, and that's crazy because now I'm thinking about the conversation I had with Servando.
Yeah.
And he, if I don't know if anything's changed since then, but he was at like about 6,000 calories a day. He mentioned to me.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, like I'm just eating all of the time. Super big meals in the morning or whatever. And then I can't remember what he said, but I remember laughing at him telling me that he's eating 6,000 calories a day. And the reason I say that is because I love to eat. Like I consider myself, and I'm sure everybody does, but I genuinely, like, if I was not taking care of myself, you know what I mean? Every single day it is a struggle not to go crazy. But I think the most I've ever eaten in a day, like on a plan or anything like that, was like 3,500.
Yeah.
When I was really, because I used to weigh, like I used to play soccer.
Yeah.
In college and all that, and I guess my fit weight at competition was like 170.
Yeah.
And so for a very long time I was on the uprise on weight purposely, and then just about maybe 3 weeks ago I stopped, and now I'm going to try to control it and come back down. So I stopped at 240.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the heaviest I've ever been.
Yeah.
I felt enormous.
And you feel it, right?
Yeah,
you feel it.
You feel it in everything that you do. I'm not athletic at all right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about nothing, right? So my goal, is around like 205, 210 area where I would start training, multi-direction a little bit more, like sports training. But yeah, when Servando said he was eating 6,000 calories, I just couldn't imagine it, dude. Because at 3,500 calories, I'm stuffed and I can barely breathe.
Yep. And then, to be honest with you, I never counted calories.
Yeah.
I had just been doing it for so long. I'm gaining weight. Okay, this is good. You know what? This feels too much. I'm gonna cut some potato out. But that's about it. The only thing I really kept track was eating 200 grams of protein a day.
Yeah.
That was it. As far as fats went and carbs went, I never tracked that. I feel heavy. I'm gonna cut some stuff out.
But not the protein.
Not the protein. The
Right.
protein always stayed 200
Yeah.
every time. I feel a little bit too light. Let me bump up some, maybe more avocado, more oats.
Yeah.
That's about it. But I never knew how many calories I was intaking.
Yeah.
I was just going purely based off of feel.
Why or what made you? Why was your protein at 200? Like what? I guess like for you, like why was 200 the number for you?
Because that was the weight I would like to be before I would start cutting down to the
Yeah.
176.
Yeah.
So if I weighed about 190, 200.
Yeah.
And hopefully get back to the 200 area. And that's where I felt my best, 200. 215 was way too heavy. 185, 190, I felt it was too light.
Yeah.
Too light. And I can't compete with the other world-class
Yeah.
176ers because that's just a whole different level. You think you're strong, then you go to like a state meet, you're not strong.
Yeah.
Then you go to a national meet, you're not strong. And then you think you're strong at nationals, you go to the world stage, oh, you're not strong.
Yeah. Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, have you ever been to Miami before that competition?
I don't think so.
No?
I think that was the first time I went to Miami. And what sucked about it was I went alone.
By yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's not fun. Miami's fun, but going by yourself,
That is
it's
different.
Yeah, I also went to Hawaii for Ironman Hawaii, and that sucked.
Really? By yourself again?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's a nice, beautiful place. I love Hawaii. But to visit somewhere new and it's by yourself, like, go to a bar by yourself, go eat by
Yeah,
yourself.
you're right.
Yeah, it's not that. It's not the best.
Yeah, I think the sometimes the fun parts of exploring new places is at least going with someone. So what were the reasons that maybe nobody went with you? Just like they couldn't travel?
Yep,
Oh.
exactly that. Like I said, I have an Ironman friend, Oscar. He lives here in the valley too, and we do everything too. We go run, we go bike, we swim together. No, we do it. We do the Ironmans together. And I signed up for Ironman Hawaii. I'm like, hey, sign up. Well, what day is it? June 4th. Oh, I can't do it. That's my mom's birthday. Like, I already signed up. I'm like, well, I can't go. Well, that's it. Like, well, shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just went by myself on that one.
Damn.
Yeah, but no, doing stuff together is always a lot better.
Yeah, I think it's better. For sure. All right, so we're in the CrossFit now.
Yep. Okay.
So how many years have you been doing CrossFit?
Roughly around 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
So so whenever you decided to do CrossFit, was it just because you were looking for like an avenue to exercise, or did you think you saw CrossFit somewhere, you're like, oh, I want to do that because it looks, what were the reasons that you gave CrossFit a shot?
Originally, it was after the Strongman. Like I said, it just lit a whole new spark under me. And I'm like, man, this is awesome. The more I got into CrossFit, the more I understood the methodology. Do some cardio, do some weightlifting, do some gymnastics, some body weight stuff. And, the more I got into it, the more like, hey, this is some legit stuff. This is actual health stuff. Because when I was doing a Strongman, my blood work was wild. My cholesterol was high. My blood pressure was high. I mean, it's not the healthiest sport. Trying to get heavy, you're trying to get strong.
That's true.
Your BMI is ridiculously high. You're not really doing cardio. You do cardio, you lose gains. Well, at least that's what we thought back then. And I got into CrossFit. I was probably doing it just for 6 months, and all those issues went away. My blood pressure went down. My resting heart rate went down. My cholesterol was fixed. All this stuff. I'm like, hey, this is awesome, And the more I started doing it, the better, healthier I felt in general. Those little like knee pains and back pains disappeared. I was becoming more flexible. I was doing stuff I never thought I'd be able to do, like a muscle up, ring muscle up, a snatch. What's a snatch? I'm not flexible to do a snatch, but my body just got better. I adapted to that. I became more flexible. I became more just an overall better athlete.
Yeah.
And then I started like, well, I love working out. I love fitness. I want to make 1.0. So I made 1.0 and I got even more into it. you know?
Because of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got more into it. I started reading more stuff. I started learning more, seminars, everything, anything I could, basically. Started learning more, and that's how I just got more into CrossFit. And I just knew, like, hey, this is benefiting a lot of people. A bunch of members have lost weight. Bunch of members have got stronger. People who thought they would never do a 5K run are doing 5K runs. And you see the change. And, you know, as a coach, like, hey, this is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, people who couldn't touch their toes because they're so big can now touch their toes, do a squat, you know, and that's a good feeling as a coach. You know, like, these people are getting healthier.
Yeah.
People even showed me their blood work. Hey, look, here's the before and after.
Really?
Yes, like, that's, you know, that's awesome. To see people just get healthier and fitter.
Yeah.
I have had members who just want to get healthier just to play with their kids.
Yeah.
Because they're so out of shape.
Yeah.
I can't play soccer with my kids. And now, hey, I can run now. I can do stuff with my kids. And that's just, as a coach, that's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, man, especially when you're having such a positive impact in the community. I think that's so massive, man. Like, it's so good. Did you know that RGV is like, I might be a little bit off in this quote, but like top 5 for like obesity?
I saw that. McAllen is, number 1 or
like,
number 2? Yeah.
Like in the country, right?
Yeah, in the country, yeah.
That's so crazy.
And there's like, I think there's like 2 or 3 cities in the valley who were top 10.
Yeah.
Fattest obese cities in the nation.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus, you know, that's wild.
Yeah, that is. Well, and I didn't tell you yet, but I'm born and raised in Florida.
Yeah.
For 20 years. And I moved here in 2012. So going on 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. And when I found that out, I was like, wow, it just so happens that I'd move into like a city that, or the area that kind of falls in that category.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? You know, obviously RGB being, you know, let's just call it top 5.
Yeah.
For obesity, like, where do you think that comes from? And I guess, like, do you think it's a cultural thing, or do you think it's something else?
Ooh, might be controversial.
Oh,
but
perfect.
yeah. I think it is a little bit cultural. I know some of us do love, you know, just a breakfast taco. You know, you're not going to find Stripes breakfast tacos any other state. You know, I went to Maine for work and California. Like, you just don't find a Stripes Q taco.
Yeah.
You know, I feel that's real cultural that we have breakfast tacos. Or like the barbacoa on Sundays, or just drink beer. Just drinking beer is such a calm with our culture, especially Mexican culture. Just a dad grilling, drinking a beer. That's it. And, you know, I drink too, but I try to keep it very minimal because I know beer is just going to bloat me up. Yeah, and there's no way around that. It's just, and then I think that's part of the valley too, that we have to drive everywhere. We can't just walk to the street. Not the street. We can't just walk to the store. Yeah. You have to drive. So it's no exercise. And then the amount of like food trucks, the restaurants, all food.
But in the amount of those is off the charts.
Also, the plates are just massive.
The
tacos are massive. Everything is massive. Yeah. And I think that just doesn't help, you know.
Yeah. Have you had the opportunity to like travel outside the country to like Europe or anything like that by any chance?
No.
Okay. So I was able to be in Germany. I was in Luxembourg for a little bit. I was in the outskirts of other countries as there, but super brief. And their food portions is just so much smaller.
Yeah, it's way different.
Different. You know, and I mean this in the household of families as well, in restaurants as well. Everything is so much smaller, and obviously, you know, where I was at in Germany, you would hardly see someone overweight in the streets.
Yeah.
My specific situation, I had to walk everywhere I went simply because I wasn't from there. I didn't have a car, so I'd walk to the bus stop wherever it was. Walk. I'd probably walk. I was probably walking maybe 3 or 4 miles a day.
Jeez.
Yeah. and that was expected. Like, they told us that we were going to be doing that before I went there. I was fit. I was playing soccer, so no problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You don't see that here at all. You know, being able to walk multiple places, let's say for groceries, food, or whatever.
Yep.
One thing that I did upon myself. So I just started working like a desk job.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting down 8 hours a day at home. Get to work from home. before that, I was coaching kids, right?
Yeah.
So I was a lot more mobile. I was walking a lot more. And just recently, I started being aware of, like, how long am I actually sitting down? How long am I actually moving throughout the day?
Yep.
And it's crazy because I realize since I work from home, I'm going to be honest, I wake up about 15 minutes before work, and I just go straight into work, right? Yeah. So I'm laying down for whatever, 7-8 hours. And in a span of 15 minutes, I'm going straight to my chair and I'm sitting down for another 8 hours.
Yep.
The only time that I actually get up and move around is a little bit throughout the house, but then when I go to the gym to do my cardio, let's say I'm at the gym for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I go back home, relax, and then I'm pretty much back in bed because it's already late.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, like I'm really just moving. I'm really just moving around maybe 2.5 to 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
Other
it's
than,
not a lot.
It's not a lot at all. It's not a lot at all. And you know, to go a little bit off of your take on you know, why RGV might be in that top 5, I think a lot of it has to do with culture, but I think majority has to do with lack of education.
Yeah.
You know, like so we come from my parents are also Mexican as well, Monterrey, and the only reason maybe me and my brothers haven't followed in the specific footsteps health-wise is because we've always been able to educate ourselves.
Yeah.
We know the difference. We know the portions. We know, like, why people get, you know, fat or bigger, and we know why people get or lose weight and are smaller. Yeah. And we take those, you know, practical approaches to do so.
Yeah.
And I think it's difficult, but I think it's lack of knowledge. You know, the biggest part that our parents or people who don't have the luxury to have access to that education.
I agree, and to go off of that too, I feel that's not a real big thing as parents because my mom grew up in a ranch, so exercise wasn't a thing. It was just work. Like she was telling me she didn't know what electricity was till she was 18, type of deal. So it's like, and I agree, it's a lack of education because you born and you work. That's it. Yeah. And a lot of Mexican families do all live in like several generations in one house. Yeah. I mean, you got to work. There's not this type of deal, you know, where we have that luxury where we can learn and know the difference. Okay, well, maybe I need to do a little more exercise instead of going to work. But no, I agree. I think there's a lack of education as well.
Yeah. And it also doesn't help, just like you said, dude, around every single corner, there's a restaurant. Yep. There's a Whataburger, there's a McDonald's, there's a Jack in the Box. It's like it's so crowded with that here. And I know I'm born and raised in Florida. I've been other places. I lived in Austin for a little bit. It's just so crowded compared to other places. Yep. The amount, it was like, all right, it's like if you pass a McDonald's and you're not really hungry, you're like, all right, I'll just wait till I get home. But then you pass another McDonald's and then another McDonald's. And you're like, well, you know.
And they're so cheap, too. A McDouble's like $1. Yeah. You know, and then Whataburger for the quantity, maybe like $9-10. Yeah. It's so much easier to just pass by a fast food. Yeah. Get a burger, go home after work. Compared to you leave work, gotta cook something. Yeah. Or, you know, just on Sundays, you know, people meal prep. Yeah. But, like, I don't know how, it goes back to the lack of education. A lot of people don't know how to meal prep, how to prepare for the week type of deal also. And I think fast foods is just ruining it.
It is.
Everybody, yeah.
It is. And you know what? Maybe there wouldn't be such a huge problem if they weren't so dense in calories, man. Like, just to kind of go back to, you mentioned like a Whataburger meal. I love Whataburger, by the way. I don't eat it a lot, like a lot of self-control there, to be honest. But it's $9-10, you're right, for a meal. But within that meal, you're looking at an easy 1,200 to 1,300 calories. Easily. You know, and then if you want to add a soda, because I never get like calorie soda or whatever. Yeah. You know, you could be adding another 300 calories, whatever.
Easy.
It's $9, and you're pretty much over half of what your daily intake of. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's insane. It's ridiculous. And then the problem is it's also eating late at night. Yes. You have this big old Whataburger late at night after a whole day of sitting. Like, your metabolism's slow. You have this big meal. You're going to bed. Yeah. Where's it going? Yeah. Where's it going?
Yeah, man. All right. So talk to me a little bit about crap, I just blanked. So talk to me about CrossFit itself. You know, you just moved into 3.0. what makes you, I guess, because there's other CrossFit places as well. What makes Ocean Water?
Deepwater.
Sorry. Deepwater different than maybe other businesses that might be similar, like, in services?
There's actually a lot of gyms, a lot of fitness gyms in the valley. You just gotta look for them.
Yeah.
There's maybe like a handful of CrossFit affiliated here in the valley. Not a handful. I would say probably like 10, 15.
Yeah.
But for like the whole valley, I mean, it's a good chunk, but not too many. And there's a bunch of just fitness. And then there's a bunch of boot camps.
Right.
And what I love CrossFit for, it's you'll hear it very often in CrossFit. It's measurable, observable, repeatable. Basically, let's say you run 1 mile. You did it for 12 minutes. You run that same mile next month. You repeat it 10 minutes. Hey, I'm getting better. Let's say something like boot camp, something like boxing or something like that. Okay, well, you're punching the bag. Well, can you repeat that? Can you measure that? How strong you're punching
like
the bag?
power or something. Yeah.
And maybe you can buy that big fancy machine to tell you how strong you are. I mean, who really has that kind of money to buy that machine? Like I said, it's great workouts, but you just can't measure it. You can't repeat it. So are you getting fit? Besides saying maybe, okay, like boot camp will make you lose weight. But at a certain point, that's it.
Yeah.
What's the next step?
Yeah.
And the next step is obviously get faster, get stronger. But boot camps don't do that.
Yeah.
You just lose weight. How do you get stronger? Well, boot camps don't offer that.
Yeah.
Skills. Learn skills, gymnastic stuff. With the jump rope, double unders, stuff like that. They don't offer that. CrossFit offers that. And then, again, we can measure it. We can repeat it. You're getting stronger. You're getting better. Your squat's getting lower. Hey, this is awesome. You're getting more flexible. You're getting stronger. That's why I love CrossFit so much compared to some other stuff that you might see.
Yeah, like other
locally.
avenues.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I am a big fan of CrossFit as well. I did CrossFit in 2015. Around 2015, I would go in. Gold's Gym on Dove was offering.
Yes.
And they had a good trainer at the time. I think his name was Mark at the time. Yeah? Okay, yeah. So his name was Mark. He was a good trainer. And I would do CrossFit every single day. I would take the everyday class, I think at 6. Man, and it helped me tremendously with my soccer.
Yeah.
So I pretty much, I had gotten there pretty fit. I was pretty fit when I got there. And then when I started doing it, I was able to not do like soccer workouts and just do CrossFit and compete at a very high level. High level.
Yep.
So I 100% agree with you. I'm a big fan of CrossFit. Yeah,
and CrossFit's great, even if you really just need 1 hour.
Yeah.
1 hour a day. You can do that 5-6 times a week, and you'll get pretty fit and healthy. Are you going to be winning the CrossFit Games? Probably not. They're professional athletes. One, their genetics are just off the off the charts. Two, they're putting more than 1 hour. That's their job. They have to do a lot more stuff. But for the average member, someone who's looking to lose some weight, get some flexibility, some motion, get their life back, basically, 1 hour a day is enough.
Yeah.
You're running, you're rowing, you're skiing, you're lifting weights, you're doing stuff with your body you never thought you could, like a handstand push-up, doing pull-ups. I mean, you're getting a wide variety of things, exposure to your body, and your body will adapt to that.
Yeah.
And your body will change accordingly.
Man, you motivated me to go back. Honestly, it's been a long time, man. Yeah. So I think 2017 maybe. Simply because I just I like to explore different types of weightlifting dedicated toward for different goals type of thing. Yeah. And right now I don't even know. Like I have a trainer. He's taking care of and guiding me where it is that I'm going. I think more like just strength, and then like the meals on the side, just to kind of going after like more like a physique type of thing. But yeah, I just remember like doing CrossFit. My brother is 5 years older than me. He was a trainer at Goals at that time, and he got super into CrossFit as well. He competed like in the local areas for some competition, so I was able to see him do that, and it was just fun, man. Like there's also a reward from the amount of pain that doing CrossFit brings you like during the exercises.
Yep.
Like the repetition and times, and you're just like going through it, but somehow each rep, like you manage another rep, and you're just like, dude, I'm done. I'm really done. But then like you go one more, right?
And then another one.
Yeah.
And then another one. Like by the end of it, like,
Yeah.
what the fuck was that?
Yeah. And then by the time you're done, you're like, damn, like I really did it.
I really pushed it.
I really pushed it. And then you really start realizing, like, no matter how much like your body is aching or in pain or really does want to stop, like if you really mentally are strong enough to like tell yourself to push one more, you really can.
You really can. You really can. It really is just endure that pain.
Yeah.
You know, we had a workout recently. It was like a max reps each minute. Like something with the bike, box jumps, and then that last minute was kettlebell swings. Just max reps for 1 minute, and then you get a 1 minute rest, and just repeat that grounds. And kettlebell swing. Who fails a kettlebell swing? You don't fail a kettlebell swing. It's super easy. You basically just had to endure that pain.
Yeah.
Hold on to the kettlebell swing for the full minute. And that was a real test.
Yeah.
Because the bike, you know, you're tired, you go slower on the bike. Box jumps, you catch your breath on the box jump. But kettlebell swing, there's basically just one rotation of a movement. That's it, just up, down. There's no stopping that.
Yeah, like it has to be identical to its previous rep.
Yeah. Like, there's no stopping that. So that was the real challenge. And I told them that right when I started, the hard one's going to be kettlebell swings. Kettlebell swings. And when we got there, I'm like, hold on for that minute. Yeah. Hold on. And that was the toughest one.
Man, I missed that. I really do. I haven't been that and I mean competitive in a sense, like with myself, with my body, that internal dialogue,
you got to talk to yourself a little bit.
That internal dialogue where you're like, you're good, man. Just go ahead and stop. And then that superior part of you is like, no, just one more. Like, don't stop. I miss that internal struggle where like at the end of it, you really realize which part of you won and how strong that part of you really is.
Yes. It's crazy to see like, going back to like the 5K example, I've had members like, I can never run a 5K. And I'm like, hey, let's just start jogging slowly, a quarter mile. That's it. Like, no, I can't do that. Well, try. Walk, jog, walk, jog. And then eventually it's that internal, like, I can do this. I can do this. It goes to that 1 mile, mile and a half. And then those members just keep going more and more. And hey, I did a whole 5K nonstop. I kept on pushing myself, not just keep going, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. And they do their first 5K, and that's just a great feeling for them. That's a great feeling for me to see them get these goals that they've always wanted.
Yeah, I agree. Question. So tell me, do you remember the moment, and I know you briefly said it, you said, I love fitness, I love lifting, let me see if I can essentially make this like into a business. How long was it before you realized that you wanted to offer this service to other people, help other people, and potentially make it into the business, right? So how long was it when you said, I want to do this as a business, and then when you actually did it as a business?
I would probably say it was maybe like 1 year.
Okay.
I was tired of selling cars.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
I was tired of selling cars, man. I was maybe 26, and I was sad. And I wasn't happy with my life. I feel like my strongman career was finished. I got what I wanted from it. Like, what am I doing now at this point? That's why I got introduced to CrossFit. And like I said, I had stolen some things from CrossFit, like the EMOMs and the AMRAPs, but I used it for Strongman. So, I got my feet wet into it, but then I really went deep into it. I dropped the Strongman stuff, lost some weight, started doing things that were just uncomfortable. Running, the air bike, skiing, rolling, that stuff you don't really see in Strongman.
Absolutely.
Or the long wads, like a 20-minute AMRAP of doing this, like, Strongman is max 1 minute. That's it. And like I said, I got introduced. I love this. I'm like, hey, and I always wanted to open a gym. Originally, I wanted to open a Strongman gym.
Okay.
So I knew I wanted to open a gym, but I was already to that point, like, I'm not happy. I'm sick of this. I'm gonna go to that next thing. And I'm like, hey, CrossFit Gym, I think I can make a business out of this.
Yeah.
And I would probably say maybe like roughly like 1 year.
Yeah.
From like, I want to do this to actually opening the doors. Yeah.
Why do you think it took you a year to really pull that trigger?
did I really want to do it? You know, that type of deal.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a lot of money. I think I spent like 50 grand.
Ooh.
Yeah, out of pocket. Like I had saved money all that time because I knew
For that.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
like I knew I wanted to open a gym.
Yeah.
And like I said, originally I wanted me like a strength gym. I wanted some strongman, some powerlifting. So, and like I said, before the podcast, you know, I was making some good money. Bought my truck and all that stuff. As a car salesman, you'll make good money, guys. Just the hours suck.
Yeah.
The hours suck and it'll drain you. But so I saved, like, I want to do this. Saving. And then, like, well, that's a lot of money. Do I really want to do this? Like, I was to that point. I'm like, well, shit, you know? Well, then got my certification. I'm a level one. I was a level 1. I'm a level 2 now. I was level 1 and got my affiliate, Deepwater CrossFit. And I guess we're doing this. I got my insurance. I got my location. I gave myself 1 year. I prepaid the lease for 1 year.
Prepaid.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
I was able to get.
That's commitment right there.
Yeah. I gave myself 1 year. Either I make it or don't. If I don't make it, well, I'll go back to car sales. I'll do some other stuff. But it was, I'm going to give myself 1 year. That's it. So I would do classes before the dealership, work the dealership, and then classes after the dealership.
Damn.
Yeah, it was long, stupid days.
Wow.
But then I found myself happy.
You did.
I was excited to wake up early. I was excited to teach the classes. I was excited. Even if it was like longer days, it was bringing that joy back into my life.
That spark.
Yep.
That's important.
And it really is important, you know. I still love what I do. Zero regrets going this way. And it really genuinely does make me happy. Coaching, I love programming. I love seeing how people react to programs. I love the theories of programs and all that stuff, learning new movements. And it just brought that spark back to me. I gave myself 1 year. The year passed by. I'm like, man, we're kind of making it, you know? And then to that point, we were already outgrowing that place. Well, let's go to 2.0. And like I said, it was about 1,000 square feet. We moved to about 3,600. And I just, you know, I quit my dealership job. And like, okay, we're all in now, you know?
Yeah, because at that point, that's your only source of income.
Yeah, so I really had to go all in. At one point, when I first opened 2.0, I was living in the back office for about 2 months. And it wasn't that bad, you know? Realistically, it was just me, myself, and my cats. And I was living there like, hey, man, like, I'm my own man. I'm making my own footsteps right here. Like, and I love what I do. I'm making money. I'm paying bills. My truck's getting paid. Like, hey, this is it, man. This is it. This is what I wanted.
Yeah.
Eventually, I started making a little more money. Got out, apartment, all that stuff. But, like, I was committed to it. I didn't want to go back to the dealership. I didn't want to work for anybody else. This is me. This is my identity, and I'm going to make it into a career. Yeah. And now I'm here.
Damn, that's so awesome, man. I think that's super impressive. What I like about all of that is that you plan to save up from your work. You did all of this out of pocket. Mm-hmm. You took all of the risk. Yep. That's a ton of risk, man.
It was a lot of risk. That's why it took me about a year to like, do I really want to do this?
That's a ton of risk, man. And that's so admirable, honestly, because I don't even know how to explain it. It's like there's people who feel stronger about things that don't do anything, right? Yep. And of course, you enjoyed the idea. You wanted to explore that idea. You wanted to do it. And that's all it took for you to really decide, hey, you know what? I'll work for it. I'll save up. I'll pull the trigger. I'll take all the risk. If it works in a year, then awesome. Yep. And if it doesn't, then
lesson learned.
Yeah, lesson learned, honestly. And now you're in a phenomenal spot. Yep. And one thing that I talk to a lot of people about is pulling the trigger and like execution. Yep. And a lot of people struggle with that, including myself on some things. You know, I'm very self-aware about my life and about the things that I do and don't do. And I get pissed at myself at moments where I know something, I guess, has to be done, or I should do something to better, let's say, the podcast or something else that I'm doing. And I feel like I get so stuck and wonder, like, why can't I just pull the trigger on this? And to hear you kind of execute in that way 3 years ago?
Yeah, about 3 years ago, yeah.
3 years ago now. And seeing that you're about to move into a 3.0, I think it's insane.
Yeah, I remember watching some video. I think what really kind of stuck with me, it was a video of regrets old people had.
Yeah.
And a lot of those regrets were wishing wishing they had done the stuff they wanted to do. I'm like, well, I'd rather regret doing this than not doing it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that video really struck with me. Like, I don't want to be that old and say, oh, I should have tried that gym.
Yeah.
I should have done this or that. And I feel, like I said, that video struck with me. And I was like, F it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I feel that really kind of pushed me towards that way. I had the money. I found a spot. The landlord was super cool. And I was looking around. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. F it.
Yeah. I think one of the, and to tie back into that, the whole regret thing, I think I remember hearing that essentially at your deathbed, like you won't be worrying about you won't regret the things that you did instead of the things that you didn't do.
Yep.
And I've been that type of person as well. A lot of my listeners that know me know the amount of things that I've done in my life because I've like been interested in, or I've thought that this could be the thing, or I wanted to see if this was what it is.
Yeah.
And I've tried so many things and I've failed so many times. Mm-hmm. And like I feel like I'm at a place right now where I'm still trying things, but the risk has become a little bit less simply because of the wisdom that I've gotten from my past failures.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot to learn from failure.
Oh.
Like okay, you succeeded, but what did you learn?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. But like, okay, well, I failed this. Well, maybe I shouldn't do this again. Maybe I should do it this other way. Maybe I should have just trusted my gut feeling and done it the original way. But there's a lot to learn from failure, and I think a lot of people are just scared of failing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Once I got into the mindset that like, go for it.
Yep.
And essentially, if you fail, you've learned, and if you win, then awesome.
Just go for it. What's going to happen,
Yeah.
man? You lose, or let's say you're doing competition and you lose, like, so what, man?
Yeah.
It's a little local comp. Like, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Maybe something like starting a business. Okay, you might lose some money, but you
or
got
a lot of money.
A lot of money. But you got that experience, and then you could say, hey, I opened this gym. Or I did something, instead of just, well, I'm stuck at this dead-end job for the past 15 years doing nothing. I'm still fat. I'm still doing this. Well, just go for it, man.
Yeah.
Just go for it. 5K? No, it's going to take me an hour. So, do it.
An hour out of your life is not much.
It's not much.
Yeah.
1 hour out of whatever years you got. It's 4% of your day.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people are just so scared and just go out there, just do it. Like nothing's gonna happen if you fail. Like a ring muscle up, like just do it. Okay, you fall off, and then get back up.
Yeah.
Try it again, and that's it. Like, but I feel that a lot of people are so scared of that failure.
They are.
Yep.
A lot of people are so scared of the unknown, especially when they see something, but they don't know how it feels to accomplish it, or they don't know the good feeling of being able to do that. And one of the things that, and I'm kind of gearing towards a little bit more like in the, let's say like the startups or something that you want to do. I laugh a little bit at your story with the risk that you took, with coming completely out of pocket, because I did something similar 2 years ago, bro, in the middle of and actually it's funny you mentioned sales, and then the pandemic hit your truck, things like that. Mm-hmm. And I made an investment decision in the middle of the pandemic, bro. And it was the largest amount of money that I've ever had to put up in my life, and I lost it I'm not even going to tell I'm not even going to tell the listeners and how fast I lost it.
Yeah.
But I lost it, like gone. Like,
yep.
I cannot touch it anymore.
It's gone. Yeah.
And I do remember, bro, I don't like to use the word depression a lot. Like I just like to say I was at the lowest part that I've ever been.
Yeah.
Emotionally, everything. And I remember thinking to myself, and I've said this before in another episode, but I remember thinking to myself, like, it's okay. It's gone. Like, it's gone. Now what can we do?
That's it. Yep.
Right? Now what can we do? It was an uphill battle. It was a lot of figuring out to do. But one of the things that taught me, that specific moment, was if success to you is the equivalent to a lot of money, fine, no problem. Yep. Everybody has their definition of success. But never be too emotionally attached to something that you can lose.
Yes.
Right? Even if you're striving for it, fine. But don't be too emotionally attached to where if you lose it, that completely dictates the rest of your life.
Yep.
And that was the biggest thing that I've learned, because now I do strive to be financially free, but I know that along the way, if I were to lose like that again, it wouldn't affect me as much as it did before.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, just being not attached to a lot of physical things and enjoying more experiences.
Yeah.
Is a bigger thing. Like, you can't lose an experience.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, you maybe, let's say you want to travel. That's awesome. You traveled everything. Experiences. Like I said, I have a bunch of members who want to just experience things with their kids. Play soccer, play basketball. Giving those experiences to them has just gotten me like so much joy seeing that kind of stuff. Compared to, okay, you have a bunch of money and you give your kid $20. It's not the same experience.
That's right.
It's spending time with your kids is that you want that experience.
Yeah, man. No, I definitely agree. So,
Talk to me.
yeah. So now, tell us a little bit more about where like the listeners can find you. I know you have a current location. You're about to move. How can someone get in contact with you? Give everything to us and the listeners, because I do have local listeners.
Yeah,
for sure. And I do have a lot of listeners like from different states. But for those that might be local, how can they get in touch with you?
Instagram, Deepwater CrossFit, and then also our website, deepwatercrossfit.com. Our phone number is 956-342-1333. And just forget our old address. Our new address is 3608 North McCall Road, McAllen, Texas 78501.
Cool. And I'll do my very best to put all of that in the description on the YouTube. And then man, do you got anything else for us before we wrap it up? Anything you want, man.
I would probably just say stick to 1 hour a day, try new sports, eat cleaner throughout your day, go run, go lift some weights. You don't need that much time. You don't need 2-3 hours of working out. 1 hour, hit it hard, stretch afterwards, done.
Yeah. Do you help with nutrition?
Yes, we do. We have Deepwater Nutrition. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we also help eating cleaner.
Yeah.
And that dictates a lot of physique.
Absolutely.
You might be running fast, but you still might have a little belly. You're doing our classes, but then you go to Deepwater. You go to a Waterburger. Yeah. That's going to dictate a lot. Like, yeah, you're killing in the gym, but you still got that little belly you don't want. I mean, you're going to Waterburger right after, eating like 1,000, 1,500 calories. But yeah, we offer guidance, working out. The stuff we've done, lift heavy, and we've gone long distances, the half Ironmans. We've eat clean, and we stretch, we recover. You ask any questions, I'll be more than happy to help you out.
Cool. And real quick, I saw on your Instagram, I think on your Deepwater page, or personal one, I'm not sure, but so your official grand opening is April 1st. Okay.
We are having a soft opening March 13th. If anyone wants to go, by all means. It's not the official grand opening. It's more like we got to get out of 2.0 and start already operating over there.
Yeah.
Everything might not be ready, but I mean, classes will be running by March 13th. Restrooms work, showers work, all that stuff works.
All right. So, but officially April 1st.
April 1st will be the official grand opening.
And I saw a post that you made that you might be looking for some vendors.
Yep. If anyone's a vendor in like fitness or the health industry, by all means, send us a message and we'll get talking, set you up as a vendor.
Cool, man. That's awesome. Incredible. Well, Mando, man, honestly, I appreciate you coming out. I appreciate you just being so open. I mean, once I just texted you, you were just so willing, right?
Appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think that's what I love, connecting with people locally, man, because I feel like RGV has so much potential for a lot of stuff.
Definitely.
So much potential. And I like to think of myself as an area where we can have conversation to see what's going on, what other people are doing, and how it is that, people might be affected like in a positive way. Yeah. And I think you're doing incredible work. I mean, you've gone from 1.0 to 3.0. And that process has been nothing but a positive impact, right?
Yeah. And that's all I want to do.
Yep.
Like I said, I've seen this stuff happen almost every day. My members are getting healthier, fitter, and that's what I want to do. And that's the impact I want to leave in my community. This is where I live. This is home now. Yeah. Fort Worth is not my home anymore, unfortunately. this is my home, and I just want to do the best I can to serve my community.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you, man. Honestly, it's been a pleasure. If we ever want to come back, you need anything, man.
Definitely.
This is your podcast as well, guys. For those of you that are listening, I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. If you've enjoyed it, share it with someone that you love. Share it with someone that you think might enjoy the conversation as well. For all of you that have subscribed to the channel so far, I appreciate you more than you know. If you're listening but have not subscribed yet, no problem. Consider subscribing at some point. If this is the conversation that you've enjoyed the most, subscribe. It helps more than you know. Helps the channel more than you know. Nonetheless, guys, I'm not even going to tell you what episode this is because I don't remember. I think we're at like episode 43 right now, which is absolutely mind-blowing to myself from when I first started. But nonetheless, guys, thank you all so much for listening to the A7E Podcast. This is your host, Jigga Dren. Until next time, guys.
See you guys.